Imagine stepping into a brand new leadership role. But here's the kicker. It's in a critical department where you have absolutely no prior experience.
Right.
You're a talented general manager, maybe, but suddenly you're thrust into the world of IT, leading a team of, highly specialized experts.
Sounds pretty daunting.
Exactly. And that's precisely the high-stakes scenario Jim Barton faces in The Adventures of an IT Leader.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into the turbulent opening chapters of Jim Barton's journey as the new Chief Information Officer at IVK.
Yep.
We're looking at the acclaimed book, The Adventures of an IT Leader by Robert D. Austin, Richard L. Nolan, and Shannon O'Donnell. Our mission, really, for you listening, is to unpack those initial challenges Jim encounters.
Sort of a shortcut, maybe?
Yeah, a shortcut to understanding the critical organizational management and IT issues that pop up when new leadership takes over a crucial IT function like this.
Absolutely. And as we navigate Jim's, unexpected adventure, we really encourage you, if you find clarity, maybe some fresh perspectives, or even an aha moment in this deep dive, think about sharing it with a colleague. Or just reflect on how these insights might apply to your own career path.
Because as you'll see, leading in IT, it's often less about knowing every single line of code and much more about strategic vision and, leadership.
So let's unpack this first bit. Our story kicks off with Jim Barton, right? Good general manager, solid track record.
Yeah.
And then, bam, he's abruptly appointed Chief Information Officer at IVK by the CEO, Carl Williams.
Out of the blue.
Totally. What was Carl thinking making such a bold move, especially when Jim himself is like, but I've got no background in IT?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Williams's reasoning is actually quite telling.
Okay.
He explicitly says the previous CIO, Bill Davies, he had tons of IT background, but, quote, that clearly didn't work.
So it wasn't about the tech skills then?
Not primarily, no. Williams decided to prioritize general management skills over deep technical knowledge for this specific role. He saw Barton as a fixer.
A fixer. Interesting.
Yeah, and the insight here, I think, is that for a CIO today, that strategic view, the organizational leadership, it's increasingly seen as more vital than being the top tech wizard on the team.
So it highlights a management issue.
Definitely a critical management issue.
Yeah.
It shows this growing recognition that effective IT leadership needs strong managers who can handle complex organizational stuff, not just tech experts. It's risky, sure, but you see this kind of strategic shift happening more.
So no gentle ramp up for Jim. He's just thrown straight into the deep end.
Pretty much.
And in those first probably anxious hours, Jim starts his own detective work, right? Diving into articles, books about IT.
Trying to figure things out.
He's looking for answers, and then it hits him. The surprising realization, almost an epiphany, that IT management is about management. What's the deeper meaning there? It sounds simple, but...
It sounds simple, but it's actually profound. It speaks directly to what the book shows with that IT leader general manager capability gap diagram.
Yeah, I remember that visual.
It perfectly captures Barton's anxiety. He's strong on the general management side, right? But a total novice in technology, IT strategy, and operations.
Okay.
So his epiphany means he's starting to get the bridging this gap isn't about becoming a tech genius overnight. It's about applying those core management principles to a technological context.
So the takeaway for our listeners...
Yeah, the takeaway for you is don't fall into that trap of thinking technical mastery is leadership.
Yeah.
True leadership needs a different, broader skill set. Strategy, people, process. That's foundational if you want to lead strategic information systems.
Speaking of blind spots, Jim has this really weird late-night chat with some kid at a bar.
The cryptic advice giver.
Yeah, who keeps saying, you've got to know what you don't know. Such a simple phrase, but Jim just, that he can't quite grasp it initially.
It's funny how that works, isn't it? The simplest wisdom is often the hardest to internalize.
Totally.
But that idea, knowing what you don't know, it's just so critical, especially when you parachute into a totally new field.
It requires some humility.
Exactly. Humility and that critical self-awareness you need for effective leadership. For any IT leader, admitting what you don't know and then crucially actively trying to understand those gaps, that's way more valuable than pretending you have all the answers.
Staying curious.
Being intellectually curious, yeah, and
Scar.
open to always learning. And then just to pile on the anxiety for Barton, the old CIO Bill Davies gives him that cynical, almost antagonistic warning.
Oh, yeah, the "you won't last a year" line.
Exactly. Sets like a real challenge right from the get-go.
So what does a manager with zero IT background do? Jim, being Jim, he tries to brute force it, right? Self-education mode.
Go on.
Goes to a bookstore, drops over $1,200 on technical books. I'm just picturing him drowning in manuals. Network protocols, programming, database design.
Pulling an all-nighter, like a heroic effort to just absorb it all.
Yeah.
And this is where Maggie Landis, the consultant, she steps in, and she sees right away this approach. It's flawed.
Okay.
And Barton, eventually, he figures it out, too. He learned a ton of technical details, sure, but did it help him actually manage? Nope.
So that illustrates a common pitfall, then.
A very common pitfall, yeah. It's that management issue of mixing up technical expertise with the completely different skills you need for managing technology and people.
Right. The heroic solo effort doesn't cut it.
Oh, not when you need systematic approaches, real leadership. The insight for you listening.
Yeah.
Immersing yourself in tech details is one thing, but leading IT successfully, that really hinges on leading teams, managing resources, and aligning tech with the business strategy. Different ballgame.
And that challenge becomes super clear in his first meeting with his direct reports, doesn't it? Bernie Rubin, Paul Fenton, Tyra Gordon.
Oh yeah, that first meeting.
Jim wants to plan an offsite, get everyone together strategically, but they push back. Hard.
They do. They insist on bringing technical specialists, like John Cho, the security guy.
The outspoken one. So what does that immediate resistance signal about the organizational culture Jim's walking into?
Well, it reveals a really deep-seated organizational issue within IVK's IT department. And Rubin's comment here is key.
What does he say?
He points out that IT is different because managers often can't independently verify the technical details. And crucially, business issues get wound around and in between technical issues.
Okay, so it's all tangled up.
Completely tangled. It creates this unique challenge for supervisors where they have to tease them apart, this reliance on super specialized, maybe even siloed tech talent, instead of empowered managers. It suggests potential weak performance in IT.
Like management is being informally outsourced to the tech experts.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
And it also introduces this challenge of managing those unique talents, like Ivan Korsky, the 10X productivity developer, the super programmer type. That's a whole other management challenge we see later.
Right. So how do you manage and integrate that kind of specialized talent effectively? That's a big IT service management question.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Jim's getting a sense of the people, the culture. Next up is the money. He meets Gary Geisler, the IT finance guru.
The numbers guy.
And Jim just wants a simple answer, right? How much are we spending on IT? Should be straightforward.
You'd think. But not at IVK. Geisler reveals this pretty complex reality. Formally, the IT department controls none of the budget.
None. How does that even work?
They run entirely on a chargeback system to the business units. And guess who created the super complex overhead formula for those chargebacks?
Let me guess. Geisler.
Bingo. Geisler himself. So this is a major IT issue around financial management, transparency, accountability.
Definitely.
Then Barton uncovers the actual numbers. IVK's IT spending is 8% of sales.
Yeah.
That's quite high.
Wow, yeah.
And maybe even more critical is this shift in spending. 60% of IT investment is now on infrastructure, basically keeping the lights on, maintaining old systems, versus only 40% on new responses to business needs. You know, new apps, innovation.
So more maintenance, less innovation.
Exactly. And that spending pattern, that's a huge strategic information systems discussion point. It really reflects an organization's maturity, its capacity for future growth versus just treading water. Too much on maintenance can seriously stifle innovation.
And then it gets even trickier when Jim tries to nail down IT's value, since it's a cost center, not making profits directly. How do you even start to quantify that?
How do you articulate the value proposition?
Yeah. No direct revenues.
This takes us right into the core strategic use of IT. You've got, on one hand, the famous Nicholas Carr IT doesn't matter argument that it's just a commodity like electricity.
Right, I've heard that.
But then you have really compelling counterexamples. Think of Zara, the fashion retailer. They clearly use IT for a sustainable competitive advantage.
Okay.
So we get this concept of compete versus qualifier introduced. Are your IT investments helping you genuinely compete and win, or are they just a necessary cost to stay in the game, a qualifier?
Compete versus qualifier. Got it.
The strategic insight for you listening is really to think beyond just operational efficiency. How can IT actually drive strategic advantage, drive growth, That's the heart of strategic information systems thinking. Are your IT dollars just table stakes, or are they helping you win?
Which brings us neatly to this really powerful and honestly super relatable problem, the priority dilemma.
Ah, yes. The constant battle.
John Cho, the security expert, he keeps flagging these critical security holes from network consolidation, but the projects to fix them, they keep losing out on funding.
Always push down the list.
Why? Because they're labeled preventive maintenance. They offer no direct benefit to customers, apparently.
And this is just such a classic management and IT issue rolled into one.
Hmm.
But the real kicker, the shocking part for Barton,
What is it?
he realizes that back in his old role as head of loan operations, he was the biggest critic of that very security project.
No way.
Yes. He helped get it defunded to free up money for his own business project.
Bro, talk about perspective shift.
Huge perspective shift. And it just powerfully illustrates how those short-term business priorities, the visible customer-facing stuff, often steamroll the critical foundational IT needs, like security, like infrastructure.
And that creates technical debt.
Exactly. That's the term
Yeah.
for the implied cost of rework you create by taking shortcuts now. It builds systemic risk into the organization.
It really brings home that struggle IT leaders face, right? Trying to
Yeah.
get buy-in for stuff that's essential but maybe not flashy or revenue generating.
Absolutely. And it just hammers home how vital a strong IT strategy is. You need it to avoid making those kinds of, frankly, nuts decisions, as the book calls them, that end up jeopardizing the whole business down the line.
So as we kind of wrap up this first look at Jim Barton's chaotic entry into IVK, we've seen him go from, well, shocked general manager
Overwhelmed.
to a CIO who's starting to grapple with this crazy mix of ingrained organizational habits, big management challenges like resource allocation, talent management, and these critical IT issues. Cost, value, strategic priorities.
Exactly. Barton's initial journey, it just mirrors the real-world complexity. It underscores that essential need for strategic thinking in IT leadership.
Yeah.
It's not just about the tech itself. It's about understanding the business, managing the people,
Yeah.
making those tough trade-offs that have real long-term consequences. These early lessons he's learning, they're just foundational for anyone aiming to lead in strategic information systems or digital transformation.
Yeah.
Shows you why you have to get beyond the technical weeds to grasp the real strategic value of IT.
We really hope this deep dive has given you some clarity, maybe some fresh perspectives. If it did, please think about sharing it with a colleague or just reflect on how these lessons might connect with your own career.
Definitely.
And as you think about Jim Barton's first few weeks, his struggles at IVK, here's maybe a provocative thought for you to chew on.
Okay.
His early days really highlight this fundamental tension, don't they? How do you, if you're in that IT leadership seat, how do you balance those immediate business demands, the things with visible customer benefits? The stuff everyone sees.
With those hidden but critical long-term investments.
Yeah.
Things like IT infrastructure, security, the stuff that keeps the whole organization running, keeps it safe. How would you convince stakeholders to fund projects that offer, quote, no direct benefit, but actually prevent catastrophic future harm?
That's the challenge, isn't it? Something to really think about.